Good evening, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node. I am here tonight to dive into the Aquarius Collective and give you guys all a feel for what's coming in for you throughout this year of 2022. We did have a look at all the air sign collective as a general overview, but this is getting a little more into the specific story for Aquarius, okay? This reading is for a collective, so that is a vast amount of people. Not every message will necessarily speak directly to you, but what I do find is that the overarching themes absolutely will apply. You know, if you just open yourself to the energy coming in with the reading and see how it could be a fit for your situation, okay? I do try to go into as much detail as possible and give as many different types of scenarios because I have an understanding that there's a lot of different people tuning in for these reads. And I want to make sure that I can get as many messages to the recipients as possible. I do allow whatever needs to come through unobstructed. I get out of the way, okay? So, I speak to whatever message I receive, even if it seems really bizarre and out there. I let it come forward anyway. So, just open yourself, and the more that you can have that kind of broad-minded perspective, and also just show up with your intuition gauge, the more you'll get out of the reading. I do bring in the astrological signs, and I do speak in terms of he, she, they, them, kings and queens. Understand that these are all energies, and these energies are fluid, okay? So apply them as they fit in your situation. Again, I just receive the download, I speak to it. If it comes out masculine, it comes out masculine. If it comes out feminine, it comes out feminine. Now, you could know a feminine who has a lot of masculine energy. They're very assertive, very forward, okay? Or maybe they're balanced in their energy. So don't get too stuck, in those kind of identifiers, all right? Don't let it be a limitation. Um, and Ted is here. Yes, he just said yes, I'm here. He may interject. Sometimes he has input to offer in the reading. He's my fetch, so I always like to have him by my side, and he likes to be in here. He throws a fit if I leave him out of the room. So Ted is also joining us on this reading tonight. And yeah, let's just have fun with it. Let's roll with it. I already got some messages coming in for you all, and I do want to speak to those and hope we can all just enjoy ourselves in this space. Thank you for sharing this space with me, for coming here to receive this reading. I do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share, comment. I'd love to build community here. And I would also love to continue to be able to offer these readings and so much more that I plan on bringing in here through this channel. And your support in that very tangible way is such a beautiful energy exchange for the reading. And it really does help me greatly. And I so appreciate it, and I appreciate you. Thank you, because time is valuable. And I do really value that you're choosing to spend your time with me. I'm pretty new here on YouTube, and I'm just starting to get this channel developed. So I really value the people who are coming in right now, especially you're here at the start of my journey, and that means so much to me, okay? So let's go ahead and dive into the Aquarius collective. When I was first tapping into your energy, I got this message that Spirit really wants you to go on a scavenger hunt. And this scavenger hunt has a purpose. And its purpose is for you to collect your medicines, okay? And actually put this together in a medicine bag. If you are not familiar with this, if you've never done this before, it is a native tradition. I do have Comanche ancestry. I'm very proud of my Comanche ancestry. And it really is infused into a lot of the work that I do. I try to honor all of my ancestors in the work that I do. But this is like a little bit of medicine that I want to share with all of you, and Spirit's kind of, motivating me in the direction to do that. So you can use any kind of bag, but I'm sure you've seen those, sometimes they're crocheted, sometimes they're made of leather. They're like these little pouches that you can get. Sometimes people keep crystals in them. You can even get a nice square of cloth. Red flannel is very nice, and something you can tie it closed with. You can actually make a medicine bundle. It doesn't need to necessarily be something that you wear on your person. It's something that you can keep in a special place in your home whenever you need to connect with those medicines to give you strength on your journey. You could make a special altar, maybe it could even be an ancestor altar where you have mementos of those who went before you, who passed on, and sort of, let them guide you to the medicines you need as well, and work with your ancestors in that way. And you can keep your medicine bundle on that altar. Approach it in whatever way feels right to you, okay? And within your own individual traditions, in harmony with your own spirituality. But just open yourself. When you wake up in the morning, just ask Spirit to guide you to the medicine you need today. And I'm getting 5 days. That you need to do this for 5 days. So, go on a little journey. And though this reading is for 2022, consider this assignment timeless. So if you happen to stumble across this reading years down the road, you found it just in time. You did a little time hopping, okay? But I'm getting 5 days in a row, all right? And that's really sort of to represent, the 5 elements, which are earth, air, fire, water, and akasha, or ether, spirit, okay? So just ask for a symbol to come to you each day that contains a medicine you need on your path to go forward. And you'll be guided to it. Just stay open. Let your intuition guide you. And each day, gather your item and, come home and put it in your bundle or your pouch and gather these items over the next 5 days. And these are all going to be clues about your path forward and the next step that you need to take. I feel like a lot of you are moving out of what has been somewhat of a challenging time where you've been in a space of questioning. You're starting to feel more on purpose. You're starting to feel more hopeful about your future. And though there is, some new directions have emerged, there's been some new things that have started, there's also still a lot that feels kind of like it's hanging in the air unresolved, or just sort of like a big question mark over your life, and you're not quite sure what you should do, all right? And before I even came into this reading, I had to bring in some water, and I'm going to drink some of it right now. Because it felt like there was a lot of blockage in the throat. And when there's a blockage in the throat, the first place people usually think of is in communication, right? Like, oh, something needs to be said. And that very well may be true, okay? Maybe you've held back from saying certain things because you're not sure if it's really appropriate. You're uncertain about how it will be received. You really don't want anything to be received in a way that could create further complication or conflict. It's not what you're interested in, but at the same time, it is something that's kind of weighing on you, and you do feel like you need to get it out. And if that's the case, I would say if you're uncertain, really use this time when you go on your scavenger hunt, over these next 5 days to also drop into that, question like how can I communicate what needs to be said in a way that it will really be received, that it will really be heard, and my message as I intend it will land. Okay? And the medicine that comes in for you, it will support you in that. But I don't feel that this blockage is just about what needs to be communicated or what you're holding in. I also feel like there's a lot you swallowed down, a lot that you just kind of like, you've taken it in and you've taken it on, and you're in this place in your life where you're like, you're finally, like doing the final digesting of it before you can I just got the I just got the saying that you're kind of like, you're in the crossroads right now, okay? And your next steps are really important. But you kind of been hanging out here for a little too long. You don't want to make the crossroads a home, okay? And the message that came through just now was shit or get off the pot, You're kind of at that point. And so it's interesting because two cards had flown out, and they were both in the crossing influence direction, meaning that these are forces that are either working for or against you. And it's really interesting because we have 2 9s here, okay? We have 18 with the moon energy here, okay? And the moon is Cancer energy. It's also associated with Pisces, okay? And it is 18, and that breaks down to 9 in terms of the numerology. And then over here we have the 9 of Wands, all right? So I think that you're really in this place where you're not quite sure what the lay of the land is. You feel like there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes, that a lot's been hidden from you. I feel you have a sense that people are being kind of secretive, and you've already been through enough bullshit. So I think you're kind of in this space where you're like at the ready. There's sort of this defensive posturing here with the 9 of Wands. This is somebody who's been through a lot. And so it's sort of like they've moved into this space where they expect the worst. And I think this is something that we brought up in the air sign collective read about how air signs are almost like anticipating the worst case scenario. And so when you stand at the ready, in that mental space where you're expecting that things are just going to fall apart, it's just going to be complicated, there's going to be drama, there's going to be conflict, nothing's going to go smoothly. That is the frequency you are taking on. You got to think of it. It's like a radio wave, okay? So you're like transmitting that out into the world. And that's actually what you're going to encourage. You're going to start to align yourself with situations, people, places, and things that are going to be in harmony with that frequency. And then things may not go smoothly. So you need to be mindful about the energy you're transmitting there, okay? Just because things have been difficult in the past doesn't mean that that's how it's going to turn out now. You always have a choice about how you handle different situations. And I think what a lot of people tend to neglect about the moon is they always look at the side of the moon that's like, oh, disillusionment, confusion, everything's hidden and secretive. But the moon is also really powerful because the moon allows us to see in the dark, right? It allows us to get a lay of the land in the dark. And there's also this mystery and this magic associated with the moon. And I just heard that song, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore, right? That's amore. So don't think that only things that go bump in the night are found beneath the moon. There's also this like whimsical, magical, mysterious, and inviting frequency that also comes in with that moon energy. And I feel like you need to tap into that a bit more. And maybe it would help you to actually go out at night, do some moon bathing. People always do sunbathing. But during this Pisces season, go out and just bathe in the moon. Just drink in that lunar essence, okay? It's very cooling, especially if you've been dealing with any kind of fiery type emotions like frustration or anger, okay? And it will also help you tap into your own intuition, because the moon is a very intuitive card. And sometimes when we go and we sit with the night and with the stillness in that space where not everything can be seen, it allows us to sort of drop in deeper into our feeling nature and really sort of grok what's going on inside and just listen, just be in that stillness without the need to interact with anybody or handle all the busyness of your day, which is pretty common when the sun is out, right? At night, it's much more quiet and at ease. So I encourage you to use the nighttime for exploration of your inner terrain, and in particular, spending time out, underneath the moon, looking at the stars, and have that be like a meditative metaphor for where you're at in your life. Because though you may be at this crossroads and you're not quite certain yet what the next step is or where everything's going to end up, and it was 1717 on the clock when I said that, that's 88, okay? And 8 is the number of fate and destiny. And if you turn it on the side, it's also infinity, okay? So it's spirit at play. And when I just did this infinity symbol, it made me think of the strength card, okay? Which is Leo energy. But the strength card is all about finding the inner strength to overcome the challenges of the past and step into the new potentiality, all right? And I feel like that's what you need to do in order to fully be able to move into your future and step out of this crossroads. It's almost like you have to timeline hop, okay? It's almost like you kind of got stuck back in this past loop. And you keep repeating it over and over and over again. And it's the same old story, but it's like different faces, different places, different scenarios, but same old shit. And I feel like that is what you need to transcend right now. And that's what these medicines you're going to gather on your little scavenger hunt to create your medicine bundle or your medicine bag that you'll wear with you if you choose to. That is what it's going to help illuminate for you, is how do you make this transitionary jump from being stuck in the past to actually moving into your future and just being open to the possibilities and what it will bring. Bottom of the deck energy, we see that a lot of this came forward in the winter time, okay, with this Ace of Swords energy. Ace of Swords is also about really connecting with your truth. It's also being able to communicate that truth. And we did talk about this blockage in the throat, and a lot of the collective is experiencing this in all of the zodiac, no matter their sign. But it is coming in very strongly for the air signs in particular. And for you, it's not just about communication. The throat chakra, the throat center, is also about connecting with your purpose. And I feel like this is what it's about for you. And it does involve a choice, as all crossroads involves a choice. And we see this represented by the Lovers, Gemini energy here. I think there's a very important message that you're either planning to put out there to somebody or that will be received. But I'm getting more for the Aquarius collective. It's more about something you need to communicate. So I don't see this necessarily being a message that you're going to receive. I think it's more a message you've been wanting to share, and you've been uncertain about the best way to go about doing that. But I think that you're going to find the courage to put it out there, because we do see what comes next is this Four of Wands energy. And Four of Wands is a card that's about celebration. It's like arriving at something very stable, something where there can be a lot of growth, and there's this happiness of finally arriving, finally arriving at this place you've been hoping to get to. And that place can feel a lot like home. And it doesn't have to be a physical home, but I'm really picking up with Aquarius more so for you. It's really like feeling at home within yourself and with the people that you choose to share your life with. And I think that's what you're in the process of stepping into right now. Top of the deck energy, we see you really focusing on your work, working on projects that inspire you. Some of you are artists, and you're crafting, you're working on your craft, you're honing your craft, you're, finally taking that time to pick up the guitar and, actually get some practice time in, just some jamming time, nothing too, serious, just letting your, free expression flow. Some of you are, taking it to your tool sheds, and you're entering your man cave time, and you're building things, and pulling out the canvases and just painting it out, or some of you are dancing it out, but I really see you like connecting with your creativity as a way to just balance your energies. But at the same time, I also see that there's a direction that is birthed with a creative focus, okay? And it's something that actually has the potential to earn you quite a bit of money, but you're going to find a lot of satisfaction in it. This is something that, takes you to an unexpected place, something maybe you never really considered before. I feel like it's a bit like going down the rabbit hole, it's like a whole new world for you of exploration, and is an adventure in and of itself. You might be thinking, can I really, make a living doing this? Is it really possible? And I would say yes, This is very interesting. We also see that, it's something that gives you a lot of inspiration, with this Knight of Cups energy, and moves you into a really powerful position, actually, that brings a new beginning in the summer. This shows you really moving into your Emperor mode, okay? So it's quite beautiful, though, because this new career direction, it's not just something that moves you into a more solidified position in terms of your earning potential, but it's also something that's really personally fulfilling to you. And I see you maybe sending out invitations to some kind of event that highlights this work you do. Maybe, if you're an artist, you might be doing a gallery event and, sending out invites. Maybe you're gonna put on a show, if you're in a band, or maybe it's like some kind of release party, something along these lines. But I feel like you're going to be celebrating this moment of achievement that's inspired through this creative direction that you're moving in. And there's definitely money involved. There's definitely earning potential here. And I think you're going to see a really wonderful new beginning with that come the summertime. You're going to be kind of raising a glass and toasting yourself for taking this leap. I love it because I mentioned the strength card and there it is right there, okay? So we see that you do have the strength to overcome, the challenges of the past. You don't need to let the past hold you back anymore. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with what you feel is really possible for you, okay? Don't put yourself in a box, all right? Don't limit yourself according to the stories of the past because that was then and this is now. Who you are now is a whole new person and is constantly shifting and growing and ebbing and flowing. And this is really kind of a beautiful energy too with this strength card because the card here has this woman figure that is actually the Empress, okay? The Empress is the embodiment of all four queens, just as the Emperor is the embodiment of all four kings. Okay, Aries energy traditionally with the Emperor here, and Leo energy traditionally with the Strength card here. These are more archetypal energies than they are actually specific people though. So just think of the qualities of those zodiac signs and how they express themselves, right? These are people who are very take charge. They're face forward. They definitely take the world dead on. That's kind of that fire energy. But I see that as you arrive in this place of power and you're doing, what you really enjoy and fuels you, not just, creatively, not just inspires you, but gives you a sense of purpose. And also, some cash money. And it was 26 on the clock when I said that. That's double eights again. There's that double eight message. So pay attention when you see eights, okay? Because that's like a sign for you. It's like a confirmative yes, you're moving in the right direction. And eights are also about abundance and power, okay? So this is a big sign for you. And I also see you really balancing like those masculine and feminine energies within yourself. Like, not only are you going to be really moving into your power in a way where you can be assertive without being destructive, okay? You can be assertive and effective and direct and enterprising, okay? And ambitious and all of those things and successful and a good leader. But you're also going to be able to have that receptivity, that emotional balance. Where maybe you can speak to the things that you need to speak to. Maybe your communication's going to improve. And this is going to help you not only in these projects and these business enterprises, right? Because you usually have to do some networking and work with other people. But I also am getting the hit with these cups cards on the board that this aligns you with like your ideal partner, the person who can actually match your energy, hold that same energy as you. But it really begins with you sort of doing that work for yourself and focusing on your own thing. We definitely see there's a lot of work influence here there for you though this year. It really is about building, and I feel like you're working on building your team with this Three of Pentacles energy. You want to pull some people together on this project that you're working on, but you want to make sure that you find people that really can work together and where it's going to be a successful enterprise. And I see you, connecting with that. I also see you hammering out some agreements with this title card here that for me often relates to legalities like contracts, so there may be some contractual agreements that come into play with this project you're working on. So, do make sure that you're hammering things out in a way that feels fair to all parties involved, and that you're all on the same page and that you're really taking your time, to choose wisely who you move forward with on this project. And just see if there's any final message for the Aquarius collective. Oh my gosh, like now you guys start talking near the end. You're just trying to get another reading just like Capricorn did, didn't you? I think y'all are gonna do that to me. So let me just have a look here because there's quite a bit on this board. Oh my goodness, you all. Okay, you guys. We're not going to dive into this. We're going to do a part 2 because obviously now that I warmed you up a little bit, you're starting to open up about what you really want to talk about and what's really going on here, okay? Which was kind of like hanging out on the periphery of this reading. So we got the business out of the way. Next read, we'll dive into the personal.